Hey there, everybody. Sorry about that.
That's interesting.
And although my data set's not large, it seems to be that most of the universities that have now been forced to go online for the next couple months have been choosing Zoom as well.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
everybody.
is that?
There's Paul. Welcome.
Hey, Paul.
Sorry about that. I thought town hall was going to be open and I could go to conference room 4, but it's locked shut. So I walked down there for nothing. My apologies on that.
All right.
Where are we in the agenda, if you don't mind me asking?
We haven't started. We're kind of waiting for you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that.
That's
I
right.
interrupted. Is there, will you guys want to finish the conversation before we get going? Or?
No, we're just chit-chatting about conference systems. So
Problems, that's all.
yeah.
I just want to apologize in advance. I have a conflicting board meeting for another board that I'm the treasurer of that I have to be on at 7. So
Okay.
I'll be tuned in until then.
Okay. So you're doing double duty here.
Double boarding.
Okay.
I will be dropping off at 7 as well.
Okay. Can everybody see the agenda there?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, great. And it looks like we have was Gene Mooney on the line as well? Do we have a?
Yeah, hello there. I'm eavesdropping on you.
I'm glad to
Hi
see.
there.
You.
Hi,
Welcome.
Paul. I've been pushing this all along. You know, I've been talking to you.
I know. Well, I think circumstances are helping us out here. So, okay. So I think this actually may be the first entirely virtual meeting of any Belmont government body. So I think we should all feel like we're a little bit part of history here. And be thankful for that, and due in part to the governor's emergency order and the coronavirus, we're able to do this virtually, and that's great. So I'm taking attendance here, and I notice we've got, Dave, you've got attendance here. We've got Glenn,
Yep.
Dave, Charlie,
I have it all.
Jim, great.
So,
And
yeah, I've captured everybody. The only one I see missing is Jonathan Burge.
yeah, okay.
And I don't know who Jeannie is, but that's okay. I assume I put her under town staff.
Member of
Town meeting member,
Town meeting
precinct
member.
6.
Gene Mooney, yep, town member of
Okay.
the public. Do we have minutes to review or not?
Dave,
Hang on a second. I had sent something out if we wanted to do it tonight, or we could wait till the 25th. Up to you.
Why don't we wait till the 25th, because we've got a fairly we got a fair amount on our agenda, and I'm happy to review it at our next meeting.
Okay. That makes it easier for me too. I don't have to figure out how to share my screen.
Okay. Gene, any public comments or questions for IT Advisory Committee?
No, I'm just happy to have this going on. As I mentioned before you got here, I was had sent out an email to Adam Dash and Mike Woodmer 2 weeks ago, and I said, you better get hold of Paul, because you're going to have to get this going. So I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah.
Who thought that it would happen at this rate? But here we are, and I'm just glad that it's you're moving forward, and that we've got a great team of you folks working on this. So.
Well, what's really interesting is we had been on the agenda for earlier in March, completely apart from the COVID-19 epidemic. We just were on their agenda because I've been working with Patrice Garvin to. At our last meeting, the members really felt like, you know what, let's just push them to green light this, because there's really no reason to put it off. And then it just got pushed back, and it ended up being this evening's meeting. And then of course events outside of Belmont, obviously.
I just have one logistical question. Are you, Charlie Baker, are you allowed to then take actionable votes then virtually?
Yes.
So you take attendance. So you can vote action virtually. That's been approved.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now I'll be quiet and just listen.
So under the emergency order, yes, he basically kind of suspended all of the in-person quorum requirements of open meeting law, so to allow us to do exactly what we're doing in other towns as well, to just have virtual meetings and allow people to keep socially distant and still do town work. So yes, once that's repealed, then it'll be the status quo, which is if the executive allows meetings to have members deliberate and vote who are remote, then the town executive needs to approve that, which in our case would be the selectmen. But under open meeting laws, it's currently written, you still need a physical quorum in the room, even if you have remote attendees. So that is something, yeah, that's something where, which, you know, in the absence of a pandemic is not particularly burdensome, but maybe something that the legislature would need to look at changing to allow virtual quorums. But you know, we'll see what happens. I have raised that with Will, as I know Jim has as well, and we'll see what happens. So yes. Okay. Do we want to, why don't we just start quickly with the annual report review that you guys have had a chance to look at, and I'll bring that up here. Can you now see that on your screen?
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
And then you guys all, I shared it with you guys. You all have a copy. Comments apart from what's I know Phil, you had some comments. Glenn,
Yeah.
you added the new content under the fireside chats.
My only comment, I think this is really good.
Yes. It sounded like there was a but coming there. Is there a but? No?
I think we might have lost him. I might pick it up. I thought this is a lot better than we've had in the past. A lot more detail. I like these summaries, obviously, of the committees that we've done. You know, I did have a couple of one misspelling, and I found that sentence a little bit
cumbersome.
Yeah, just a little bit confusing. Anyway, but I made a suggestion there. Otherwise, I thought, you know, it's up to the committees kind of chairs, subcommittee chairs to decide what content to put in those sections, and I thought it was good. I liked what we did. What I saw in the subcommittee.
Yeah, we've had a busy year. I mean, that was kind of putting this together. That was certainly one of my conclusions. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, can you go back up right where you are? Jim's last name is misspelled. It begins with the letter S.
That's right.
Jim Syracusa.
Right.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I don't believe that's true. I believe it actually does begin with a C. Give me a second. I'll look it up.
While you're doing that,
I think I've been spelling with an S in the minutes.
That's right. Yeah.
But that was a guess on my part.
While you're doing that, looking that up, you should replace selectman appointee by select board appointee in the.
I'm pretty sure it's an S.
You missed that one, Paul. That's what I was talking about.
So it's
my
interesting.
Earlier comment to you.
His email is J Syracusa, Syracusa, but his name appears in Gmail for me as with a C. I don't know. Maybe that's because I spelt it with a C.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's James Syracusa, Belmont Police Department, right?
Okay.
Correct.
Good. What was the other one? Sorry.
I was going to say the places where it says selectman appointee in the officers, it should be select board. Yeah, you might want to just do a search and replace.
And maybe I think he goes by James formally, so maybe we put James Syracusa.
Okay.
Well, does that also apply to Steve Mazzola as well, or Dave?
I
know as well.
What?
It's a good question.
I think
So
Well-
I did check. It is with an S, and this goes to show you how these typos can propagate, because it's in my address book as a C.
Yeah, mine too.
Somebody-
And I don't know why that would be.
But everywhere he types it, it's with an S. So I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So
That's what I have in my contact book, at least. Looking at his email, which works, it's an S within the email address.
Okay, and you were saying on James and Jim and all that, what do you want to pull full names? Is that what we're saying? No shortened
Well,
names?
We got a test case. Phil, what do you want to be called? Philip or Phil?
You're mute, Phil. Robin.
If you Google Mr. Syracuse, he's online mostly as James.
Okay. Okay, so I think we're,
Whoa, wait a minute, though. Now you've got a little bit. I don't think Steve Mazzola will object to being called Stephen Mazzola, but is it Stefan Mazzola or Stephen Mazzola?
I'm leaving it at Steve.
Okay, all right, okay. That's
Okay.
safe. That's safe.
Okay, and I will change a sentence before I submit this, but other than that, are we comfortable with this as is? And
You still have a BOS in there. I just saw it scroll by.
yep, I'll search select board. Hold on, me.
When
Okay.
was that change made official, or has it been official for a while?
About a year.
Town meeting voted on it last year.
Okay.
Can you go back up to the cyber risk?
I'm sorry, what was the change?
Scroll down just a little bit.
The last change was just to we had a BOS as a acronym for the Board of Selectmen, and we changed to Select Board. Go up to cyber risk.
Yeah, no, you just down a little bit. You were there. The assessment of our cyber risk posture.
Yes.
It was up a bit, right there. Assessment of Belmont cyber risk posture. I would actually be a little bit more specific, because cyber risk covers a lot of stuff, and we did not have a comprehensive risk assessment. We were specifically asking about ransomware.
Okay.
Paul, it's Jean. Is this your 2019 annual report? Because you've got some headers that say 2018, I think.
Where?
Yes,
Or
you do.
maybe it was just going by too quickly.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Good catch, Gene. Very good
Hey.
catch. Say, Paul.
All right.
Paul, now you can honestly
Pay me the big bucks for nothing.
tell the selectmen that we have had a pilot, not only with all of our membership that's attending being virtual, we've also had participation, and the participants have contributed.
And using the collaborative G Suite to group edit a document. This is rocketing us into the 21st century as a government body. Sorry. So yes,
earlier in the doc,
just vis-a-vis, I'll say
right there.
Cyber risk posture. I hate to use vis-a-vis, but I'll just change it to ransomware preparedness.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
I had one other suggestion. If you go down to item number 3.
Well, sorry, let him finish this.
Oh, yeah, sure, sorry. Or regarding ransomware, either way.
Okay. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh, go down, scroll down. Just a verb agreement.
Okay.
Down to item number 3 down here at the bottom. The select board created a created.
Yep. Good catch. evaluated here, agreement there as well.
Yeah. And do you want to do selectmen? Just search, just make sure that we're.
I did the select.
Oh, okay, okay, good, good.
Done with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and other changes, additions, deletions?
Yeah, so if you would go to the, pretty much the top.
Yep.
No, a little bit down, right below the committee members and staff contacts.
Yeah.
So under the summary of accomplishments or activities and accomplishments, you list some but not all of the involved people. Like I noticed that it's missing Robin Tilburg, for example. So you have two options, I think. One is to make sure you name everybody, and the other one might be just because you list everybody right above. You could just take that paragraph out completely if you wanted.
This one right here, right?
Yeah.
Text changer. No, I'll just list everybody. I mean, Dave Petto, Steve Mazzola, Ellen Gerard, John Steves.
Yeah, you just have to add Robin.
And do we want to? And we'll put Jim Syracuse as well.
Yes, yes. I would think that would make sense.
Am I leaving anybody out here? I mean, it's a little. I understand what you're saying. It's basically kind of redundant, but I hate having two headings bumping up against each other.
Understood. I'm happy to have it
Okay.
repaired either way.
Yep.
Can you do me a favor and search for 2018, just see if it was anywhere on the document?
Yep.
No?
No.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. And let me just see
Can
the-
you, yeah, right, sorry, right there.
So
That
one,
header,
one last. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say fonts, if we could just have some font consistency.
The heading.
Yeah, that header for Information Technology Advisory Committee members is all in a serif font. This is getting nerdy now.
Okay, hold on one sec. Oh, this one. Yeah, this is the way it's formatted. The style is formatted, but I can change it to whatever to just be consistent here. What is this? Calibri. So it's just Calibri and make it.
Ooh.
Paul, this is really teeny, but you're Paul F. Roberts with a period.
Yeah.
Chair,
Where's that?
Chair,
Yeah,
Paul,
chair.
initial F, period.
Nice.
You've also got colon after committee members, but no colons after the other two headers.
Mm,
Oh yeah, good catch.
I've got a couple of nits if you're ready. So bullet number 4 is full-time, one word, 2 words, or 2 words with a hyphen?
I think it's 2 words with a hyphen.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, whatever makes the spell checker happy, I guess. In the fifth, in bullet number 5,
I'll check it
the
one
town
second.
administrator.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Committee
Bullet
members.
number 5.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry, bullet number 5. There's an evaluated. The town administrator evaluated. It should be just evaluate.
Where is this?
Bullet number 5.
Bullet number 5. Oh, over here?
So that the town administrator evaluated ways to improve. It should be just evaluate.
Mm.
Oh.
There we go.
Can you go up? I think you missed one edit on the first page.
Yeah.
And you have committee members. Oh, you got rid of it. Oh, somebody else got rid of it. Never mind.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, cool.
I couldn't stand that he missed it.
Yep.
Paul, you have one hyperlink where you list the whole hyperlink, and the other locations you put, go here.
Yeah.
That's a stylistic thing, I presume.
Yeah, or it's just an oversight. Hold on one sec.
So
Want to show the hyperlink or not?
So I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why we have quotes. It just
I
unless
think I'm probably, hold on, I'm just going to put in your thing.
I think that's because that's out of the official
Yeah.
charge for the ITAC.
yeah, but without a reference, then it just makes it kind of confusing as to why it would be quoted.
Okay, good point.
I have a question, and this may be pertinent to reviewing the documents you've drawn up about proposing the remote participation to the selectmen as well as this. Is there any way to easily impose a zoom on this to increase the size of the text without changing the font size necessarily?
Like that.
There you go. I'd even love like 150 if you wouldn't mind, if that's not going to screw up the reviewing of this, but well, it looks like it is. Maybe
Are you sizing your window? Or
Yeah, I don't think we have any other comments, so I think we're fine.
Yeah. On this one, yeah, I think you're right. There you go. That's fine. That's great. Much better for me, at least.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine. Sorry about
So
that.
Paul, the only reason not to have hyperlinks for everything is that if somebody's reading this in clear text for whatever reason, or a printed version of it, then they only see the link and they don't see the actual URL.
The way I've seen that done at work is that footnotes are indicated. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 footnotes, and then the URLs are at the bottom. That way also for archival purposes in the town. That's a good point. I'm echoing Phil's point. That way for archival purposes, those URLs are stored somewhere.
So
Right.
so you saying I should just make these footnotes?
Well, no, leave it the way it is, and then at the end of the blue link, put
Okay.
left bracket 1, right bracket, and then down below in the footnote area, put left bracket 1, right bracket, and then the URL spelled out.
You'll be surprised to hear this, but actually we can put in a footnote.
Yeah, footer. Yep. There we go. And well, you have the one more up there. Yep. Right.
That was good.
Wow, look at
That was
that.
a good catch, Phil.
Yep.
Good stuff. I like how convenient
All
that
those
is.
years as a technical writer really paying off right now, guys.
Yeah.
Really paying off.
You're hired. You are hired.
Paul, in this document, are you noted as chair in some places and chairman in other places?
I-
I think I
have
saw
tried to change
chairman
it to. I have tried to change it to chair.
because I thought
if you
saw
try- if you
chairman
get
at
chairman,
the
let me
bottom
know.
of the document somewhere.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
search, do a global search for chairman.
One sec. Let me just get the footnotes in.
Can I edit this?
How much time do we have here?
I fixed
It's
the ones.
20 to 7.
I fixed the ones at the bottom.
I think this meeting is scheduled until 7:30 anyways, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
just
people who need
what
to-
it-
Although some people are going to have to leave at 7. That's
Yeah.
all right. True.
Okay.
that's so
I
good.
think that's all of them, right? 2, 3, 4. Any others? No.
Looking good.
Chair, vice chair, right? We're good?
At the very bottom again, if you could just update that font.
This one. Right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's another serif font.
Anywhere else you're seeing that, Glenn?
Do you want it
Uh,
single
the header.
spaced? Do you want that single spaced?
Yeah, I will in a second. And hold on.
Yeah, besides the spacing, the header itself, right? The 2019 annual report is another serifed font.
Right here.
Not to throw a monkey wrench into your changes, but is that convention to use the word chair in place of chairman, or for that matter, chairwoman? I mean, they selectmen are probably, Dash is a select man, not a select member. Or select,
I think they're all select board members.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're all select board members.
All right, then I guess chair would make sense and vice chair would make sense.
Yeah, I'd say let's go ahead and do that.
Would you like a motion to accept?
Yeah, could
the,
somebody,
all right, I make a motion that we approve the 2019 annual report as we are all reviewing for submission to the town clerk.
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great.
I
Thanks,
think
folks.
now, so just one point of order. I'm
We've
not
made
100%
history
sure
here.
we have to do a roll call vote, but
No, actually, Jim, that's a good point. I mean, it's a little bit hard to confirm
Yeah, we should.
unanimous or not.
so Dave, why don't you read off the list of people who are attending and people can just answer.
Okay, hang on a second. So first off, I'll vote in favor. Paul,
Aye in favor?
Charlie,
Aye in favor.
Dan,
Aye in favor.
Glenn,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye in favor.
Jonathan,
Oh, he probably had to drop.
No,
Oh,
he's,
okay.
he's
It
still
looks like he's
connected.
partly
He's still
still there.
connected.
Phil,
Aye in favor. Yep.
I would say it's,
And Dan voted?
yeah.
Okay.
So I think we've got everybody with maybe one abstention.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's gonna have to be because I didn't hear, unless Jonathan, did you say something and we just didn't hear you?
I saw that Jonathan was having technical difficulties.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
He's connected, but we can't see him, and apparently he can't.
He wrote in to say he votes in favor.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yes. So
Okay.
I have a procedural suggestion that if we have another vote, we ask for all in favor, all opposed, any abstentions, rather than do a roll call.
The reason I suggested that is I think the executive order suggested that a roll call was required, but we can check that during the meeting.
Okay. If that's what they want, then that's fine.
Yeah, I'll see if I can
There's
check it.
not enough of it that there's not enough members that it makes a huge difference, but
Okay. Thanks, gentlemen. And Jean, thanks for your contributions as well. And that is
Glad
approved.
to have witnessed this.
That was, I mean, that worked really well.
And Paul, nice job on the report. Having done this a few times, that's a much better version of accounts.
Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate it. Let's see. So we're going to skip executive session for obvious reasons. So two issues that we're going to be speaking about with the selectmen are the next two agenda items, which are the website.
Well, Paul, if I sign off, Paul,
Yes.
if I sign off, can you have executive session?
Oh, no, we're not going
We
to.
don't really need one, I don't think.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
just because we're not really, we've got too much to talk about and we're going to move that till our next meeting. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
So if you want to stay, Gene, you can stay.
Exactly. We'd like
Can
to.
I stay or should I go?
So website redesign committee, and remote attendance recommendation. I'm happy whichever one you all want to discuss first is fine with me. I don't have any preference which order we discuss these in.
I recommend that since for various reasons the remote attendance initiative is the initiative of the moment, if you wish, that we start with that and then go to the website if we have time.
I think that's about right.
By the way, folks, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see if this works. Yeah, I've switched. I put on a headset rather than using my laptop audio system. So.
Okay. So.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the executive order doesn't appear to say anything in my quick scan of it about votes and roll call votes, but the existing law that enables remote participation under limited
OML.
circumstances does mention roll call votes. I think if you want to be safe, that's a better way to do it.
Good point, Jim. Thank you.
Hey, so I concur with the part that it's not in the emergency order because I was just looking myself. I have not reviewed the sort of existing open meeting law on that point. But a different question I have, let's see, it just slipped my mind now. I'm sorry. There was another point around existing open meeting law. So maybe let me defer that and say, would it make sense for us to talk about the remote attendance initiative then?
I think, yeah. Again, this comes out of our last meeting where I think the members of the committee were kind of the opinion, why are we kind of, pussyfooting around with this, talking about doing public participation and then, allowing committee members to remotely deliberate, and that, we feel like any problems could be worked out, as they come up, and that we should just go ahead and recommend to the selectmen to, in keeping with the report that we gave them in July, to just green light this, allow committee to go forward and participate remotely.
Yeah, in a way it's kind of moot right now because we're gonna do it. I guess if I were the select board, I would say, well, we're doing it anyway, so let's try it out, see how it works, and then we'll take it up immediately after the emergency declaration is lifted and find out how it went, and then make a decision then, because it's irrelevant until then. But I don't know. I mean, I think we'll either look at it one way or another and say, well, that's probably one way to look at it. The other way to look at it would be, well, we're going to do it anyways. Why don't we just adopt it into our bylaws and just be done? So I don't know.
I think, yeah. I mean, I would almost think the opposite, which is they're going to say, listen, clearly this is something that is desperately needed right now, and while this executive order is eventually going to be withdrawn, we see the need for this going forward, even in the absence of a global pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, I just look at what happened to our meeting at our meeting last time, where we had a member who was driving up to attend our meeting, but running late, who was able to, not participate, but follow the meeting via Zoom on the drive up, and obviously did not deliberate or vote, but posed a question to the committee, which was actually a good question and engendered some discussion, and that resulted in a kind of knuckle rapping from the town clerk about how the selectmen have not allowed remote deliberation, and committees should absolutely not be, and it's just like, listen, come on, this is, as a committee, we're trying to be ultra transparent and facilitate both committee members and the public taking part in this meeting. So this is this is clearly activity that's in the spirit of OML. Let's just move this along as a town. And I think that, for me, underscored why we need to actually just get this vote, which is to, again, green light it.
Yeah, I'm just anticipating what the discussion is going to be and how we should be prepared for it. I think, I think we want to get out ahead of as I say, I think there's two ways to look at it. It's, hey, we need it now. It's pretty self-evident that it's got to work, because if it doesn't work, then we can't have any committee meetings during this during the pandemic, right? So that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, hey, this the pandemic unfortunately is a test period where why don't we just see how it looks and then decide afterwards. I think our position as a body, and unless I'm misreading everybody here, is that we are for the former, right? We see a need for it. We see a continued need for it. Extreme circumstances or no, it's going to be a beneficial thing for the town. We're going to figure out how it all works. We're going to make it work, and it will work for the this period, right? And so why not just go ahead and clear the way for it to happen permanently. That would be my take on how we should kind of try to frame the conversation.
How do others feel?
I guess I was distracted. I had a son down in Colombia until about 5 minutes ago when he finally got home, so I had to acknowledge that. We're very grateful that he's home.
Yeah.
In any case, I'm not sure, Phil, if you covered the issue of whether we should try to maintain everything that Governor Baker has suggested at this point in time, or whether we want to perhaps propose most of it, but not all of it. And the thing that I'm perhaps, maybe it's me or maybe not, that there may be a little bit of pushback from the selectmen, is that in the absence of a pandemic, do we really want to allow a situation where there is no need for physical quorum?
I don't think that's an option, right? I thought the
That's not an option.
will still require a physical quorum.
Does it?
Right.
Okay.
I think absence the executive order, I think the only thing that we're really saying is that we as a town should vote to adhere to the condition that's available to us, which is that we permit remote participation.
Yeah, if you look at the report that I put together, again, I laid out 5 types of virtual meetings.
Right.
A and B are basically in-person meetings where the public is either allowed to view but not participate, or view and participate. Right now, and for the last 3 years, we've been doing B, where the public is allowed in and, like Gene, can ask questions and interact if they choose to. And we've had that happen on occasion. If the selectmen vote, OML currently supports virtual meeting type C, which is hybrid virtual physical meeting with a physical quorum of committee members present in some room, following OML guidelines, open door and posted meeting time and everything, but in which some members of the committee may attend virtually and participate, deliberate, vote, etc. What Governor Baker has allowed is E, which is basically, entirely virtual meetings as part of his emergency order. That D and E are not going to be possible once this executive order is rescinded. The only thing that would be possible is what's allowed under OML currently, which is C.
And that's what we are apparently proposing and pushing.
That's correct. That's
okay.
correct. Because we can't tell them to violate OML. So all we can say is, do what OML allows you to do, which is to allow our town bodies to take advantage of remote member participation.
Okay, then if that's true, and not to nitpick this, but could you zoom this the same way you zoomed the last document?
Yes,
I think
sir.
it was 125 worked. Oh, okay, that's even better. If that's true, then we might want to add a couple of words to C, just to make it clear that we would like to propose that other committee members attend and participate virtually using an internet-enabled, so on and so forth. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hang on a second. Do we require video, or is telephone adequate?
Nope.
Yeah,
I don't think it specifies an OML, although, you know, whatever
Right.
whatever it is,
Yeah,
however it is
want to be
specified,
precise here.
we're not gonna change that, right?
Yes, because OML does not specify video or audio. It either is.
right. The requirement of OML is that it has to include audio.
It has to include audio.
So text.
And I don't think-
So
I think that's
and
it.
I'm reading through one of their sort of overviews of OML. It says text messaging, instant messaging, email, and web chat without audio are not acceptable methods of remote participation.
Yeah, I
No
don't
Morse
think
code.
I don't think that we should get into you know, the definition. I think we should. I mean, should just stick with the terminology of participation.
Right.
I don't think we should specify whether audio, video, or whatever.
Right.
Well,
You may just want to say as per
Yeah.
current OML remote participation guidelines.
Right. Exactly.
I would reference, so the doc is in the chat for the Zoom meeting that Glenn and I have been looking at, which you might want to put the URL of into the ITAC doc.
Say that again, Jim.
In the chat for the Zoom session is the
Oh, yes.
is Maura Healy's doc with some of the rules. So you might want to put that into our doc that we're making for the select board
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
by reference.
Just another nit. It's not under current OML rules because we're in the strange state of emergency OML rules, but under the I don't know, the previous OML rules, the rules as of last week.
Yeah, I would just put OML. Don't put current or previous. Just get rid of current. Just
Okay.
OML.
Yeah.
Under OML remote participation guidelines. Period.
Okay. Hold on. Why am I having trouble finding where the chat thing is?
If you go to the bottom of your Zoom window,
Right in the middle of the screen on the bottom.
Oh, you're probably
because
Oh,
he's sharing.
you have to
I got it.
yeah. Well, I mean, your command bar is probably hiding it.
I got it. I found it. Okay, so you think so put this into references where?
I think
But
just
no.
as a reference that highlights some of the open meeting law rules respect to virtual meetings.
Okay, there's a whole section on. Well, I'll put it here. I'll put it.
Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah.
Then I'll put footnote in here.
For what it's worth, I'm footnoting the URLs.
Cool.
Thank you.
By the way, I think there's an extra space before the word hybrid on D, just so you.
Sharp eyes, Phil.
Oh, good.
Guys, I don't know if there was another current in there. You talked about eliminating current. And I don't know if anyone already did that paragraph. I missed the scrolling up. Someone just found current. No, that was a different current.
Yeah, it got taken care of. It was
Okay.
under option C on the.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Here, Gene, I'll share a copy of this. Gene, in the chat, I'm just putting a link to this document in the chat if you want to bring up a copy of it for yourself. Okay.
Hey, just a time check, Paul.
Yeah.
I know it's close to 7. I think we had a few members who needed to sign out at 7.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know, I know you had set this up to run till 7:30, but given that the select board starts at 7, would you want to just sign on in case they run early or run late? Like, I don't know what your feeling was, or did you want to be just sort of just in time at 7:50?
Well, we were at 7:50, but I was going to sign on. I mean, I don't know if am I supposed to be there in person? Like, I really don't know I don't know what the protocol is, but I think I'm going to go down, actually walk down and be there in person. So I was planning on being there at 7:20 or something like that.
You're not helping them set up?
Well, let me just see. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Why don't we adjourn now and let you go there?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the top order of business, right? We can.
I mean, I know Dave is involved, so I actually don't know what me, but he did say
okay.
So, but let me just double check.
Have you
So,
shared
Paul,
the link
just
where
for
we
clarity,
Yeah.
Just for clarity, for minutes, whatever we do here will be a suspension of the meeting, and then I'll enter something about our presentation to the board.
Ooh, interesting.
Ask that again, Dave. Sorry.
I'm still a little confused about how the minutes are supposed to work for tonight. Am I supposed to say that are we adjourning now, or are we suspending now? And for the presentation, I'm still a little.
I don't think
First of all, are we gonna have a quorum at the selectmen's meeting? Because if we're not, then we're adjourning, because we can't reconvene if we don't have a quorum.
Right.
So
And we can't and we can't really convene because we haven't officially declared that we're going to be meeting at that time.
Paul and Ellen, he had a conversation and he looped me in on it, and I never did really come.
So I think
feeling like I understood what she was telling me to do.
Yeah, I would say at this point we conclude our meeting, and we don't deliberate. We don't create anything that creates minutes until we reconvene as a body.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to accept the report as edited?
So moved.
Second.
Well, hold on. I think that was a question.
It sounds like we do.
Yeah. So
I think
we want to make
we
that.
did for the other one.
I move that we adopt the document as currently edited.
All in favor?
Second.
I'll say aye.
I think we
and I'm
need to
gonna
do
go
a
down
roll
the
call.
list again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roll call.
This is Phil. Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Glenn,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Jonathan,
Aye.
and Phil. And I think I've got everybody. Okay, we're done.
Dave, you have two
Sorry, I did vote
Jonathans
for the other
on.
Jonathan.
Oh, did I miss you? I'm sorry.
Both
Burgess got it.
Jonathan are in the same camp here.
We're a
Oh, I
block.
didn't see that Jonathan Birch had joined. I'll fix that.
The Jonathan's vote is a block.
Yeah. Okay.
Jonathan Block.
I shared the Zoom link with all of you, I know, in an email. How many of you think you're going to be able to attend the selectmen's meeting?
I will be.
Yeah.
I
Roughly,
got the Zoom link for this meeting, but was there another email with a different link, or is it the same link?
It's a different link.
It's a different Zoom link.
I can put it in the chat right now if you want.
Paul, I have my other meeting, so I will join if the other meeting ends early, but I don't think it will.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Paul, I have a question about joining and participating. I mean, how is that going to work? I mean, are we simply going to be attending so that we show strength in numbers and you'll do all the talking, or what?
Well, I mean, my thinking was, I mean, if we have a quorum, then we can have a joint meeting, and if not, then we don't have a joint meeting, but we have, you know, many of you have been involved in this process, and
Again, we haven't posted an agenda. We haven't declared that we're meeting. We haven't, you know, according to open meeting law, we can't have a meeting. We can't, right? So I say we're all there. We're all part of the select board's meeting, and as any participant can do, we can comment if we feel that we need to. But I think that it's Paul does all the talking for us otherwise.
Okay, that makes sense. So just to reiterate and probably go over the same points, Paul is the exclusive spokesman, if you wish.
Right.
We're presenting the committee's report and initiative. However, each of us as individuals are attending the select board meeting and can comment.
That would be my take.
Okay. And Paul, what's your best guess that we may be on for anywhere from about 7:45 to 8:30 or something like that?
I think that's about right. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to run tonight. My guess is it might be a pretty quick meeting.
Well, the coronavirus section is going to be very, very much. I think that's going to take a while.
Right.
Okay.
Does that come before us or after us?
It's the first item on their agenda.
Oh, it is. Okay. Okay. Then we'll probably be closer to 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
I'm guessing we're going to be late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their meeting would have just started about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we try and you know, you guys jump into that meeting when you see fit.
Yep.
And
was that in an email? Sorry,
Yeah,
I pasted the link into the chat if you don't have it through email.
Okay.
It's also in the meeting minutes that they revised and posted this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So if you went to
Right,
the select board's webpage, you would be able to find it.
Okay.
Paul, you also sent a later email, I think, with that
Yeah.
other
I
link.
did. It's in that thread, Phil, further down that thread about
Okay.
that you got today.
Yeah, I got it. All
I
right.
think we need to schedule our next meeting because it's already scheduled, right?
It's already scheduled, the 25th.
25th. Okay.
Excellent.
Yep.
Good.
And presumably we'll
everyone.
be doing it Zoom.
Right.
I'm guessing so, yes. All right. Hey, thanks everybody. And thanks, Jean, for joining us.
Well, you'll be happy to know that Tom Caputo just read a whole statement from the governor about open meeting and explained how to participate by Zoom and call in,
Great.
etc. So
Okay. Great.
Excellent.
thank you, everybody.
We'll
You guys
see you
did
in
a
that
great
Zoom
job.
session.
Gene, just a question. Are you going to attend the selectmen's meeting?
I'm going to watch it here, and I'm also yes, I was going to watch it, or I could zoom in, but I could also watch it. It's on Belmont Media Center
Well,
as well.
I think we've actually had a very successful pilot demonstration of how this can work. In addition to us or some of us attending, if it isn't an inconvenience, Jane, it might be good for you to attend just in case.
Yeah, I can. I've got it in my. I've got the address in my. You know, so I can easily do that because I've already set it up on my phone to do it. So
Great.
the link. And just as an aside, another agenda item. I'm very interested about the refresh of the website as a town meeting member and resident of Belmont. So I'm eager to see all where that
renewal.
goes.
We're calling it a renewal, Gene. That's
Renewal.
Yes. Okay.
That's a kind word.
That's what we're trying to be kind. All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I'll look later to tune in, Charlie, then.
All right.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Okay, everybody. Thanks so much.
Sure.
See you on the
So long.
25th.
Will be adjourned.
Oh, yeah. Somebody want to move to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we need to take a roll
Aye.
call for
I
that? All
don't think we need a roll
No.
call on that one.
No, we don't have to do that.
right. Ciao.
I think we did a quick one.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
For the time being, at least.
Yeah.
How do we hang up?
Good question.
How do you get out? How do you,
Uh,
video. Here we go.
Kill the window if you need to, or kill the tab. I'm going to
Well,
end the
that's-
meeting.
Do you
That's
realize the whole
inelegant.
thing was recording for some reason?